Hi, welcome to the Craft Channel. My name's Corinne Bradd, and today I want to show you how simple it is to make some really effective paper rosettes. Now, they're Concertina paper rosettes. This is a brilliant stash busting idea because this is all from random pieces of paper from various scrapbook collections that I've got. And they kind of gel together if you're careful with your colour scheme. And I've seen lots of videos how to make these, these kind of 15-second ones, and it looks so simple. It's not as simple as some of these videos make out, but it's really not difficult. One thing you want to remember with your paper rosettes is you need to make sure that your strip of paper is long enough to make the rosette that you want. And that is just simple geometry. Say you want to make a 10 centimetre rosette like this one. So the diameter of your circle is 10 centimetres. Pi times diameter is the circumference. Pi is just over 3, so let's go 4 to be on the safe side. So if you've got a 10 centimetre circle you want to make, you want a 40 centimetre strip of paper. Because then that means that you can get a good fold. It's not so flat on the edges that it's going to try and spring apart. And you can make a full circle more easily. If your paper is only 30 centimetres long, just stick 2 strips together end to end. And it doesn't matter if it's more than 40 centimetres, because then you'll just get a nicely compacted concertina. I mean, this one here is 20 centimetres wide, and this was cut from one sheet of 30 centimetre square scrapbook paper. So I cut it into 3, so I ended up with 90 centimetres by 10 centimetres, and it's made a great rosette. So I'm going to start with a piece of scrapbook paper that I have scored at 1 centimetre intervals. You can probably see it better on the back there. And I'm going to cut a strip that is if I cut a strip that's 6 centimetres wide, so 6 and 6 is 12, 12 times 4 is 48, I'm going to need at least 2 strips of paper. It's one of those things, I mean, if maths isn't your thing, you can probably judge it by eye. If you're going to make a really wide rosette, common sense dictates that you're going to need a longer strip of paper. Now, what I've also got here is, because this is actually 12 by 12 inch, there's an extra 5mm strip on the end of each of these, which is quite handy because it means you can join your strips together. But I'm just going to start by concertina folding along those score lines. We just remove that. If you don't have a scoreboard, you can, of course, just concertina fold by hand. But if you can get yourself something like this, even if it's a small version of that, it's really worthwhile, especially if you want to make a lot of paper rosettes. Because what you can do is you can sit somebody in a corner with a bunch of paper and just get them to score everything for you. And then you can have the fun part of turning them into a rosette. So once you've managed to concertina all along those score lines, give it a good squeeze so that the scores are crisp. Just quickly do the other piece. And it is easier, if you're going to join 2 strips of paper together, it's easier to crease those score lines before you join them, because at some point the wad of paper becomes too big to hold in your hand, and it just pings out all over the place. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of glue to that 5mm tab, and then take this part and join it. And I'm going to do the sensible thing and actually let the glue dry before I try and move on. And then before you complete the next step, just bend it round and check that it's going to make a full circle. You know, if you only manage to get this far, and what's happening is the edges of your rosette are getting so flat they're at the point of tearing, you need to add another strip of paper. This is one of the few projects where actually more is better. I've just glued the other strip and joined this Concertina strip into a ring, rather like a giant cupcake. And then most of the other videos I've seen, what they do is they just show you how to flatten your concertina, and then they put a massive dollop of hot glue in the middle of it to hold it. Now, there's no reason why you can't do that. I don't particularly like hot glue. I find it gets stringy. But what I just want to show you is the method that I use, which is glue, tape, and a bit of patience. So if you just pop a piece of masking tape, so when you flattened it, you push it in so the hole in the centre is as small as possible. Pop a piece of masking tape on the top so that you can flip it over and you can put a slightly bigger piece of masking tape on the bottom. And press that down well. And this is the side that you're not going to see. So then you can take that off. Grab yourself some PVA, and while that's just tilted up sort of like a mini volcano, if you give a good squirt of PVA around the inside of that, and then just use a paintbrush to work it onto the edges while it's still slightly fanned out. Now I was going to use a slightly more liquid version of PVA on this so that it spread a bit more, but sadly the glue was so good it's actually glued the lid of its container to itself, and with the best will of the world I can't get the lid off, which is why I'm going with what's actually a gemstone, a PVA based gemstone adhesive that I find has got very good tack and dries really well. And then you can push it down, squeeze it up, and then to neaten that hole in the centre, you just take some of that adhesive again, dab it onto the mounting folds of your concertina, get your brush, and then just fix a cardboard disc in a coordinating colour to the top. And I mean, if you want to make them reversible, you can put a coloured disc, you can take the tape off the bottom, put a coloured disc on both sides. And then what I would do is just leave that for a good 10 minutes to dry. If necessary, if you're worried about it, what you can do, pop it to one side and just put a weight on top of it, because the folds of that card, there's so many of them, the weight will distribute it. It won't crush it, but it will just hold it flat enough for the glue to dry. And then once your glue has dried, you can make more and more and more from all those scraps of paper. And they're great as prom decorations, you know, general decorations. If you've got a bare wall in your house you don't know what to do with, you can put them on a large canvas. They're just very appealing and very, very simple to make, as long as you follow the rules that whatever width you want. So if you want a 10 centimetre wide circle, you need at least 40 centimetres of paper to concertina fold it. And also you don't really want to make your concertina fold much more than about 1 centimetre wide. Unless you're using really big pieces of paper. You know, if you've got like a couple of metre long strip, then go for it to make really impressive wall decorations. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you're going to come back and see us again very, very soon. I will put some details in the description below about the measurements that you'll need, just so you can refer to it later. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe so we can send you a notification when we've got a new demonstration coming out. And we'll see you again very soon. Thanks. If you've been inspired to create, please share your makes with us in the comments section below. And if you've enjoyed videos by the Crafts channel, hit the like button. Want to see more of us? Then click subscribe. See you next time.